the subject matter of the early look note this morning, which I was using this book here. If you haven't read it, it's quite entertaining. It's the history of kind of the original Bitcoin people, including Jed McCabe, who is the founder of Mt. Gox, which had plenty of issues. But this guy along the way he was worth at one point, I think, when Bitcoin was at its highs in December, January, I think it was worth like $40 billion.
That's amazing.
Because he owned a ton of Ripple, and Ripple, of course, super highly valued back.
Well, I think the guy that started Ripple, though, was like even richer than him.
Oh yeah, he was just the CTO of Ripple.
Yeah.
People that think I know absolutely nothing about Bitcoin are going to be sadly disappointed because I read voraciously, and I read all these books now. And I just giggle sometimes because just because you're a libertarian doesn't mean you know everything about macro. I mean, this guy actually used the quote from Jed. There's this really cool thing called Bitcoin. It's like this nerd libertarian thing. Cool. I'm a libertarian. I'm not a nerd. I mean, does that exempt me? I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? There are a lot of macro exposures, which Bitcoin or crypto will be a macro exposure. Don't forget, it's a macro exposure, and it needs to be risk managed. At some point, I'm going to be the biggest bull on earth potentially in crypto. You know that, and it's a good thing I haven't been along the way down. Because this is down 66% from where you could have gotten sucked into the narrative back. There are very few things that go down in macro by that. If you really believe it's an asset class, then talk like a big boy or a big girl about an asset class. If an asset class goes down 66% and you're long it institutionally, you're out of business, okay? To be up, by the way, you know what the math is, okay? If you're down 66% in something, you need to be up what to get back to break even? You need to be up 194%, okay? So if you're the poor bastard who's watching CNBC at Christmas time saying, wow, this is going to go to 100,000 because Tom Lee, former JP Morgan strategist, said that in the moment. You have to be up 194% from here just to get your money back to break even. It's called a drawdown crash situation. You want to avoid those. But I also want to avoid being pigeonholed as a Bitcoin bear. What I want to remind you, however, is that we did risk manage it beautifully, telling you not to chase it up there. Okay, so there's a difference. And there's a big difference between, and this is why I cited this book, and again, you can be worth $30 billion, you can be worth $100 billion. I can disagree with you. I still live in America. I'm allowed to, and I hope libertarians understand that just because you're worth a lot of money doesn't mean you can't be disagreed with in moments of time that really matter from a risk management perspective. So whether you're an ideologue, you're religiously inclined, politically inclined, I don't care. What I care about is risk managing the market. So if this is indeed an institutional market, crypto, which I have no reason not to believe, I mean, it trades futures and options currently. There's plenty of reasons to analyze it. You can go long and short, but there's big moments in time where you should not be long things that you're ideologically wed to in macro. Very different than buying a growth company like Hedgeye or pick any other growth company. I like Hedgeye, that's just me. But again, I'm long it. I've never sold it. I never will because I believe in it long term. I understand that's how you think about companies, but when it comes to macro exposures, very different. They have a central tendency to mean revert. In other words, they go up a lot, then they go down a lot. And the goal of the game is to not be there on the way down, buying and averaging in the whole way down on a 66% decline. God knows, if I have a 6% decline in real-time alerts, people want to kill me. 66? Oh, whew.